Hey everyone, it's Brandy Ellen from brandyellen.com, where I share stories, tips, and experiences to help you live your best life. Today is Wednesday, and I wanted to talk a little bit about anxiety. It's a topic that I've written a lot about, but I haven't done a lot of videos regarding this topic. So in my early to mid 20s, I was diagnosed with Generalized Anxiety Disorder. It's called GAD for short. This basically means I didn't have anxiety that fell under any other sort of things. I have a broad range of anxiety. This anxiety shows up in social situations. It shows up in unhealthy situations. It shows up when stress is really crazy. I've experienced various forms of anxiety throughout my life based on different situations. But I'm almost 40. I have tried medication that helps alleviate some of those symptoms, meaning like the medication I've been on and off and on throughout my life helped during times of high turmoil. So you would have found when I was first diagnosed, they put me on the medication, and that because back then I thought that was the answer, and they increased the dose, and I got so numb that I literally could like do something drastic like lose a thumb and I would feel fine. I didn't like feeling numb, so I stopped the medication way back then, and I never really touched it again until I went through an unhealthy relationship that I didn't know how to get out of. I was scared, intimidated, gaslighted, manipulated. I mean, it was intense. And of course, I didn't know any of that at the time. I just knew that my anxiety was so high. We're talking, I would go to school to pick up my kids, and just as I turned the corner on my road where I lived, my stomach would go in knots. I would be so anxious about what I was going to walk into the house and see. This man I was with, it was that kind of life. I thought that it was just me and something wrong with me, why my anxiety was coming back again. And after the relationship, or I guess even before I could get him to move out and things eventually went south because he committed a crime against me, before all of that happened, I had to start taking my medication again, and I just had to be open to that. So I did. I popped on the 5 milligrams of the Lexapro that has always helped during times of high anxiety, and it did help me cope. I don't know how long I stayed on it this time, maybe 3 or 6 months, but it just took the edge off so I could get back in control of my mind, because I believe at the end of the day that there are so many things we can do to help ourselves live without medication. And it may not work for everyone, so don't think I'm pushing, well, it's bad to be on meds. That's not what I'm saying. This is my personal experiences, and I will never shun someone for taking medication. I believe every single individual should do what's right for them. So let me be clear. My story is coming from a place of my truth, what I believe. It is not what I feel you should do. But if it helps provide some tips and ideas that will make your life better, then great. I'm happy about that. So I was on the Lexapro for a little bit during that transition so I could get control back in my head. And then I weaned myself off again. And this is in combination with therapy, going to a counselor. And then over time, I realized that while I was doing the hard work to get through what happened to me and living without my oldest kid for 2 summers, there was a lot of work inwardly that I had to do because the anxiety was there. I wasn't living my normal lifestyle. I was homeless for 5 months. One summer I was living with my dad and my stepmom without my kids. So it was a lot of changes really quick, and anxiety was like, hello, I've come to play. And I didn't like it. But some of the things I've learned about anxiety is that we all have it. Whether you've been diagnosed with it or whether you just have it once in a while, every single human being has it, because it's that innate flight or fight response we're built with. It's what helps protect us. For example, I referenced an unhealthy relationship and my anxiety being really high during that time. Well, my anxiety was really high because it was my body's way of saying, this isn't healthy, Bran. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect your kids. Something's not right. Fix it. And, I ignored it. So now I've lived 2 different life experiences that have taught me that anxiety is real, and it's not always based on unrealistic fears. Sometimes anxiety is the cue from your body saying, hello, something's not right. Whether it's an unhealthy relationship, a work project, your lifestyle, what you're eating, your body has a way of triggering you and saying, hey, 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 something's not right. And that is called anxiety. Or gut instincts for some of you out there, you might call it that. It's that little weird stomach pain feeling or heart flutters that this is right. Those are things that happen when our body is telling us you need to fight or you need to fly. So how do you cope with anxiety, or how do I cope with anxiety? Well, one thing is I adjust my eating habits. I recently watched a video about how sugar plays a huge impact on mental health. This one woman who wrote a book, and I'll find it and reference it in the description below, she stopped eating sugar for 2 weeks and found that her bipolar symptoms it went extremely low. Like her bipolar was almost non-existent. So diet, sugar, bad fat foods, not good, get them out. That'll help your mental health stay stable. Then I also knew I needed to change how I was living, which is where I started reading the Best Yes book. And that helped me be better at saying no for the right reasons and saying yes for the right reasons. I also talked in my other video, I'll link it above, about daily time wasters. I removed things that were wasting my time during my workday, and I made sure that I have a separation of work at home, homeschool time, and mom time. That way my anxiety stays low. I know what this, and this period of time during the day is for, and I remain confident in those choices so that the anxiety never comes about because I'm rarely questioning my decisions. So your lifestyle can help subside some of those anxious feelings. And then being surrounded by the right people. So I know a few people that I just have to avoid in person because they suck my energy. I'm filled with negative feelings. I'm sad. I'm down. They're just an emotional and energy sucker. And it sucks because, I care about people and I want to help everyone, but some people just are not good for my mental health. And I have to be confident about that, and I always have to protect my mental health. So if you want to get rid of anxiety, so to speak, I say get rid of, but if you want to reduce it, you need to find ways to reduce your situations, limit the situations with people that cause the anxiety to come out. And that's hard, but if you use some of my daily time waster tips, you will be able to slowly create an environment that works for you, where you're surrounded with people that support you, that are willing to not drain your soul and actually care about you. So it'll be a give and take relationship, which is extremely healthy. Then I guess I just have a solution-driven mindset. So when I was homeless with my now husband, but then ex-husband at the time, we were co-parents, and we were homeless for 5 months. That we started in about June, and we finally got a home in November in New Hampshire. So in June, the weather was kind of warm, but towards November, there were some 30-degree, 32-degree nights. It was getting cold. There was a lot of things that happened during that time that could have caused my anxiety to go into overdrive, but I don't recall ever having too many high points of anxiety. In fact, my blood pressure even went lower during that time. I felt relaxed. I felt like this is right. And even when we didn't know where we were sleeping that night, and we had to sit there frantically seeing if I could make some money on the internet, if any hotels were open, if any campgrounds were open, so that we didn't have to sleep in our car, I never felt anxious. I just focused on, here's what needs to happen, and this is what we need to do to make it happen. And we worked together, so perhaps that's why my anxiety was lower, is because I had a supportive partner who was able to look at solutions with me instead of fighting against me or stressing out and causing my anxiety to flare up. So there's a whole lot that goes with anxiety, and everybody's a little different. What I want to tell you is that you can live with anxiety. You can use it to your advantage. One thing is being aware of it when it kicks in. Sit down and look inward and say, okay, where is this feeling coming from? Is it a place of unrealistic fear? Am I just overwhelmed? Am I overtired? Have I eaten horrible stuff today? Okay, well then, go to sleep, take a nap, pause for the day. That's fine. Do what you need to do to alleviate that anxiety. If you sit down and find out that the anxiety is coming from a realistic situation, that's where you're going to have to do some of the hard work to make tiny habit changes each day so that your anxiety doesn't ever consume and control your life. We all want to live our best life, but you need to set your expectations realistically. You know, I know that I'm not going to be able to do certain things each day, so my Asana tasks are set to be reasonable expectations of me. I know which days I do better than others. I know what time of the day I'm better than the others. I don't make any decisions at 1 a.m. after I've been up all day and everything's irritating me because I'm overtired. So these are little adjustments you need to make in your life. Lifestyle changes, evaluating inwardly, looking inward, using a gratitude journal or a daily diary to start learning how you feel and what you think. Changing who you surround yourself with. This includes internet connections and making sure that the people out there that you're connected with are people that resonate with you, are people that have a give and take relationship with you, that respect you for who you are and appreciative of your boundaries. They can have different opinions and viewpoints. That's totally healthy. But just make sure that the boundaries are always respected with this support group. And lastly, it's really all about knowing yourself. If medicine helps you, like I said, it helped me during the height of my anxiety when the situations were something I couldn't immediately fix. My medication helped me, just 5 milligrams. It helped, you know, but I didn't want to stay on it, so I weaned myself off. Personal choice. If medication helps you all the time, then that's great. While you're on the medication, take the time to sort your thoughts out and learn more about yourself, what makes you tick, what you love, what you don't like, and what type of boundaries you might need to set. Again, The Best Yes by a woman named Lisa is really fantastic to get there and figure out what your best yes and best no is. And then just be confident with who you are. We're all a little quirky. We all have weird viewpoints and opinions, and each of us suffers from anxiety occasionally or constantly. I just hope my story helps you see the rambles of a work-at-home mom who truly believes that I am in control of my mind and that nobody else can tell me what's right for me. So I hope that you start living that way and making small adjustments so that you live with fewer anxiety attacks, because that's the key. You want to have fewer anxiety attacks, and when you do have an anxiety attack, you want it to be realistic. You want it to come from a place of fight or flight for a reason, and then listen, make the changes, and live your best life. That's all I have for today. I'll be back again on Friday, so be sure to click that subscribe button and the little bell to get notifications. That way I can talk to you 3 days a week. I can't wait to share more topics with you and hear more about your life and how my videos might help you live your best life. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.